Have you ever been told not to waste money on tumbled crystals? I get it, I've heard it, and I've thought it too. But after years of running crystal shops and selling crystals online, I also have seen just how many people buy the tumbles for really great practical reasons. So let me tell you some stories, some examples of when the customers did it, and you'll feel more comfortable knowing when buying these small tumbles are going to be a big win for you. It doesn't include the spiritual chit chatter. I've created a second video to talk about this. If you saw my video about why not to buy tumbles, this is the counter argument. And the premise of all of this is you already know tumbles are the cheapest way to get your crystals. So it's more going to be about, well, when is it a really good idea to buy this shape rather than any other one? And it is aimed at helping beginners and those buying for others. Even if you're not into crystals, at least you'll be more informed. And at the end of the video, as I said, there'll be a click to the additional reasons from a spiritual perspective. My name is Shamara, and I've owned several crystal stores, and I continue to sell online. So I have had a lot of interactions with customers, and those that bought tumbles sometimes bought them even though I had the exact same crystal in another shape. So why did they do that? Well, sometimes they were a beginner. They weren't sure if crystals were going to be their thing. Am I naturally drawn to Mother Nature's creations? Is it an impulse buy? Have I been influenced by social media unfairly? So buying a tumble is an easier way to start experiencing them, finding if you're really interested or not, without the guilt about their cost. And this means if they're not your thing, then you'll find it easier to move them on to another person or to give them to a charity. Do not throw them in a garbage bin. But honestly, they are not as interesting geologically as bigger natural shaped crystals are. So you probably will find yourself abandoning them fairly quickly on your journey if you do discover you enjoy collecting crystal treasures. As time went on, we actually had an increasing number of psychologists and other therapists starting to buy them for client support because they're a lovely piece of the natural world which psychologically can be helpful to the client during the session, and then they can also take them home for after-hour support. And if you want to learn more about how this would work for you, just leave a comment and I'll create another video. So tumbles being inexpensive was a really easy way for them to offer ongoing support without taking a lot of money out of their pockets. And of course, I had all the customers who came in who said, I've got to buy for 10 people, 20 people. You know, like they had to do the Christmas stocking stuffers for all the grandkids, all the nieces, all the nephews. How can I do this inexpensively? Tumbles suited really well. Because of the issues of food allergies and sugar hyper jumping around stuff, a lot of parents started to buy packets of tumbles so they could give them out at the end of children's parties as gifts for the kids to take them home, so they were less worried about what they sent home with the kids. Also, you might have a child that's saying, oh, it's really pretty, I want to have crystals, I want to collect them now. And it's a great way to see if the child's interest is really there, and therefore you buy them a few tumbles, they're happy, you're happy, and if the interest is only momentarily, fine, not a lot of money spent. And if it is something genuinely interesting for the child, then you can come back and get more. And I'll do a whole extra video about kids and the benefits of crystals. We also had some people who absolutely loved crystals, but the most exciting way for them to have them was as something in their pockets. And of course, there's a risk of it falling out. There's a risk of the crystals crashing together, and tumbles were perfect, far less likely to break, and again, a lower cost if lost. And finally, but not least, sometimes crystals are really only able to be gotten as tumbles. For example, high-grade aquamarine, charoite, petalite. They're just either not available at most shops at all in any other form, or if you try to buy them as a sphere or a pyramid, it's just really, really expensive. As I went to create this video, I really was surprised as I wrote down just how many reasons a tumble shape was really handy for people. So I hope you got a few ideas for yourself about why a crystal tumble can mean so much, even though they're small. If you want the spiritual reasons, that is a separate video. And I will somewhere along the line create the one about crystals and kids. Also, just to fully understand, if you haven't bought Tumbles yet, do look at the reasons why not to. So that way you'll have all the why and the why not, and that way you'll be able to make some really great decisions relating to buying crystals in this form. And if you enjoyed the insights, please give me a like, share, subscribe. It helps the algorithm know that what I'm talking about is useful, it is what people are expecting, and it gets everyone excited when the comments start getting shared. So I'm Shamara. I'm here now just wanting to take the guesswork out of getting crystals, using crystals, so that you really have much more of an experience that you were wanting and expecting. So bye for now.